If it's clear and yellow, you've got juice there, fella. If it's tangy and brown, you're in cider town. Now, there's 2 exceptions, and it gets kind of tricky here.
You can stay, but I'm leaving.
Can be yellow if they're using late season apples. And of course, in Canada, the whole thing's flip-flop.
Because we misbehave.
I'll start with about shipping, because I know a lot of fans were actually pretty invested in the idea of Natasha with actually either or both of you guys, and now obviously she's with Bruce. What do you guys make of that?
She's a slut. I was gonna say something along that line. Complete whore. Trick, man.
What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Sunday. It's Sunday night. We're relaxing. We're chilling and talking about Hellbound, Netflix's Hellbound. It's a Korean fantasy, sci-fi thriller.
Dark fantasy?
Dark fantasy? Yeah, dark fantasy.
High school level religious philosophy?
Yeah. It's a weird show that I was told to watch by Jane and Az. And I was like, what the am I watching the whole time? But we'll get into all of that. But before we do, let's introduce the panel. Today we have Jane Theory. Hello, Jane.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Good. Tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me here on YouTube. I post movie and television reviews and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Rumble, and so on and so forth at Jane Theory.
Rumble, Mumble.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to put your Rumble link in the description. I'm sorry, Jane.
Oh, that's okay.
Just send it to me later so I can add it to your links. Teresa, welcome back. Hi.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm really happy to be here. This was a crazy show. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, tell everyone where they can find you before we get started.
Well, you can find me here on Twitter. I'm sorry, at YouTube at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off.
Well,
and
there
Twitter.
You go. And hopefully this show didn't tick you off all that much. But it was funny. Well, weird. Such a weird show. Script Doctor, hi. How are you?
I'm doing well. My system is salvaged, and I'm so happy I'm here to join you all.
Thank God.
With this very it's a show. I'll just put that with this show. I'm happy to talk with you ladies about this show.
It was a very weird show. I was like, what is going to happen? But okay, see, the thing is, though, I feel like you haven't really gotten to the good parts because you haven't really watched the whole thing. So wait, did you only get to 2 episodes, or how many episodes did you get to?
Because of my computer problems and losing passwords, yes, I've only been able to get the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
I have lots of questions. However, I have while I was waiting to get my stuff up, I was using my phone to research this show and get the spoilers, just so that in the event like this one here, I wasn't able to complete it, I would at least have enough information to work off of to participate. But I do have lots of questions and thoughts.
Okay, so you know kind of like what it's about and what's going to happen.
I love the premise. I really love the premise. I think it's really cool.
I did too. I liked the premise, but as it went on, I was just like, what the fuck? Okay. So this is I'll start by saying this to everybody out there. By the way, hi everybody. If you're watching this stream, please smash the like and share the stream. Tell everyone we're talking about the show. I decided to review this show this week because I had an option. I had an option to review Black Panther 2. And I decided to not review Black Panther 2 because honestly, what else can you say about Black Panther 2 other than it was fucking awful? And don't waste your time because honestly, that's the review done for me. But Hellbound, I had questions, I had concerns. I was like, what the hell did I just watch? I wanted to talk about it, so I figured we'd review the show. But Just so you guys know, this is a spoiler review. So if you're interested in watching it, you might want to go check it out first, watch it. Unlike Script Doctor, who went and read spoilers, don't read the spoilers, go watch it, and then you can get a better idea of what's going on. But we are going to spoil everything. So spoiler alert. That is going to happen. So now, having said that, I will give my initial impressions. I thought that this show was crazy in a good way. I really like it was a little crazy violent. Like I was like, holy shit. I didn't expect it to be like that kind of violent. Especially in the first episode when that guy was just getting like torn to pieces by the demons.
Yeah.
I will say this. Okay, well, before we get into the details and nitty gritty, I'll kind of like lay out what the episode is about, just in case you're watching for spoilers. The show is about how do I say this? Okay, people get this they get visited by this kind of like spirit weird image of this dude, and he tells them when they're gonna die, and when that happens, at the time of their death, these 3 demon looking things show up and they just kill the fuck out of them, and then they zap their souls or they do something. They
incinerate them to a degree, and
they incinerate them as they're like taking their souls, or I don't know what they're doing, but either way they're like incinerated and they become like skeleton, like charred skeletal remains is all that is left. And as this is happening, obviously we're introduced to some characters. Like no one knows what the hell is going on at first. Nobody believes it until one person is caught on camera and it goes viral, and that's like the first episode, and people are like, oh my god, this has been happening. And meanwhile, there was this one dude that was kind of warning about this for years and years and years. I think over 10 years he was warning about it. And he ends up becoming a religious icon because people realized that he wasn't bullshitting and that he was actually right. Kind of like, weirdly enough, kind of reminded me of Alex Jones and how he's right about everything all the time. And then I'm like, so is Alex Jones going to become like a religious figure at some point where everyone's like, holy fuck, this guy was right about so much shit. But it was kind of like that. And then he became a religious figure, and then his character was just very interesting. So with that said, that is the premise. And now we're going to get into the spoilers. So Teresa, tell me your initial thoughts of the series. What'd you think? What are your thoughts?
Well, I thought it was wild. I couldn't stop watching it. And whenever that happens to me with a show, I usually say then it's good. I'm not saying it's great, but I'm not saying it's bad, but it kept me watching. I was fascinated, especially by this whole idea that the judgmental part of it, that these were people that deserved it, if you will. They were going to be taken to hell, or at least at first they were people that very clearly deserved it, and that this angel of death was going to come and show it as an example, and then that would make a better world. I thought that was very, very cool, because I can see people being attracted to a religion that does that, and religion you can see, because you can see these big monsters come and pummel these people to death. My only problem is the very, very end. Yeah, the last scene. But beyond
we'll talk about that. Hold that for a second. Hold that, because we're gonna get to that. But like it was weird though, because you're right in the sense that it's just like it's weird because they were saying like, oh, these people like have done sin, and then they would come out like later after they've died, and they'd be like, oh, by the way, these people had like bodies buried in their house, or like this person killed this person, and we're figuring out that these people are all sinners. And like, you know, it's good that they're being they're being called, basically, like they're being, like, you know, they're separating the wheat from the chaff, if you will. I don't know how you pronounce it, but
the chaff.
Chaff. Jane,
Yeah.
tell us your thoughts on this series.
No, I feel the same way. When I first started watching it, I was just sort of caught off guard, but I really got pulled into the story and the mythology, I guess you could say, of it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And the visuals were actually pretty good.
They were nuts.
It has very high rewatch value too. I just yeah, I may go back and actually binge it again because it's really that good for me anyway.
I think I'm gonna watch it again before season 2, which will be coming out. I looked. They've already been renewed for a season 2, and that's coming out. But yeah, like I would like holy shit, it was the graphics were crazy, the story was nuts. I would have liked it a little bit better if they had kind of gone into the police officer's story more after the time jump, but he just disappeared. I was like, why did he disappear? Like I liked his character. And then they just kind of like him and his daughter both disappeared. I was like, well, what happened with that? So some people think that their story might come back in season 2. I went to check Reddit and some people were saying that the cop, like maybe the cab driver at the end that picked up the lady, but he's like all old now. I don't know if that's the case because I didn't think it was him.
How much can an person age in 5 years, especially when you got that youthful South Korean genes going on?
Yeah, I know. Like I was like, it was only 5 years, and that guy was like super old in the last scene. Like, well, at least I thought it was way
Chimichanga, because that's how it sounds when they do it. He's supposed to be, I guess, in his 40s, but he looks like he's 23.
Yeah, like
because he did that whole speech. I wanted to die at 21, maybe 20, because that's when he got out of the orphanage, and then I spent 10 years roaming. And then I found God, and then it's like, oh, but his thing has also been 10 years, so he's in his 40s. Like that's
yeah. Yeah, he was so young looking. Like I was like, what?
Wearing a school bag over his left shoulder all the time, like a kid.
Yeah, he was crazy. I did like the main character, the woman. I think her name was Min. I thought she was cool. I liked how she like became a badass over time and like learned how to like fight and became like a crazy, I don't know, like
a warrior angel against the
demons. She's like taekwondo and I don't know, martial arts. It was dope. That like okay, yeah, the 5-year jump was kind of weird because I was like, it things had changed like way too much for 5 years, I feel like. But at the same time, I guess if something like that happens in a world where like everything's on social media, I could see that happening. But I don't know. It was kind of bizarre, the 5-year jump.
Well, I mean, the premise is bizarre, but what's even more bizarre is the rarity of these demonic attacks and these declarations from the angel of their coming of death. It's like, if it's only happening a handful of people like a month that are being done this way, then humanity's doing really well in regards to sin, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing with Eastern storytelling is they avoid conflict. Like the whole like the daughter is a part of the new truth thing, and the cop father's like upset. She's like, "Oh, don't worry, I just went there for a couple of lectures, and you don't have to worry about me." And it's like, okay, so now. Even if it's like a lie or distraction, you completely circumvented the drama of these two characters having it out over the fact that her dad doesn't like the idea of this cultish type of guy, and he should not even like the idea of her entertaining it.
Well, she like, and later on, she like actually ends up murdering a dude.
Oh yeah, she gets lost in it. Yeah.
Yeah, like the guy that killed her mom. She goes and she burns that dude alive. Like I was like, holy shit. Like, because it like that, that takes a lot of, I don't know what you would call it, like lack of soul to be able to like burn someone alive and like
it's succumbing to vengeance, which is one of the thematic warnings of this, which is what the arrow is all about. Like if they learn that someone did the decree, my understanding of that is that they would hunt them out and kill them before the demons would. And I'm like, well, that's a sin. So aren't you guys going to be on the hit list? And apparently in the situation of the show, it's no, they're now avatars of God's will and are just increasing the destination date of the torture, so to speak.
Well,
it, yeah.
I mean, technically they were all sinners, including the fucking dude, like, the cult leader dude. He had gotten the call from like a very early age. But you know what's so weird is throughout this whole thing, as I was watching it, I was kind of expecting it to come out that it's like not like something esoteric, like that it was like technology, like somehow, like I
It
was
was science
waiting.
fiction posing as God, right?
Yes, like I was waiting for it to somehow happen because whenever you would see the face, it was very like holographic in a way. Like I was like, is that just like really bad CG, or is this like meant to be this way so that you think to yourself, hey, this could be some form of technology? What did you guys think of that?
I mean, I agree with you. It felt that way, and I'm still not convinced that it couldn't be. I mean, I think they could still possibly go in that direction. But
can they though, because of what they did in the end, Jane?
I think possibly, depending on how they choose to play it. I think so.
Well, it's Eastern cinema. They break all the rules they establish. I mean, that's just the common aspect of their storytelling. They'll set up one thing and then they'll bring in a third idea and say, "Yep, this is how we're going to retroactively reintroduce it into the rest."
Okay, so basically, what happened though, Script Doctor? I'll tell you now. At the very
they save
end,
the child, right? And they die as a result.
Well, they save the child, but also at the very, very end, the last thing you see is the woman who they did the live thing on, like when the 5-year jump happens.
Mm-hmm.
That woman gets resurrected as a person. Like the body, like the charred body, becomes her again. Oh. So you're assuming like that's gonna happen to everybody. I guess. I don't know, but
so
she did.
She served her sentence in hell and now she's back.
Kind of. I mean, see that's when I'm like, okay, how, like the technology, I can see it happening to take the thing. Mm-hmm. But to resurrect, that's a whole other fucking story. Unless they're like doing like, Star Trek shit where they have like, what's it called?
Teleportation.
Demoleculizers, like that you can actually materialize a person again. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, what kind of technology are we talking about? That's crazy.
I know.
Whatever
I
it is,
wouldn't put them to imagine it.
Because once you're broken apart, your memory ain't coming back. So like.
Right. And that's the other thing. Like, are they able to give back the consciousness as well? Is the person going to be, not the same person anymore? Ghost in the shell kind of thing. Like, you don't know if that's going to be a thing.
Without any education, essentially, right?
So, I mean, assumingly, we don't know yet because that's the setup for season 2. We don't know if the people that come back are actually coming back, or if it's maybe they're demons from hell. Like maybe, I don't know.
Like, so you're saying that they have the demons inside of them? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Or the demons have maybe taken their form. Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe the demons.
So they were culling people for bodies.
Yes. Like maybe I think that maybe that's a possibility.
And only the worst of the worst are strong enough to fight the angels again on behalf of hell, right?
Ooh.
That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is so awesome.
And the battleground takes place in Seoul, South Korea. All other countries are absolved from this because that's the place where heaven and earth will collide.
Well, interestingly too, actually, that you say that, I thought it was interesting that the place of the thing was in Seoul, and how I know Seoul is spelled different, but in English, Seoul is soul, and so I kept thinking about the soul throughout this entire thing. So I was like, that's really interesting that they've set it up like that it's in Seoul, and I don't know, the idea of the
one
soul.
Further, it had one of the main characters work at a shoe factory.
What the fuck? Why?
Because they protect souls.
Well, oh my god, fuck you. I hate you. Oh my god, but
how dare you?
It's a terrible joke. Terrible. And I laughed at it. My god. Yeah, I don't know, like it was a weird show. The other character I really liked was the journal. He wasn't a journalist, he was a producer. the producer dude, he's that's what happens in the episode in episode 4 when there's a time jump script doctor. Like they introduce a new character, and he's like the protagonist to the end. And it's his baby that gets the decree. And then that's when all hell breaks loose. Like, literally.
Because they're saying, how can a baby have committed sin to be,
Yeah. So that's when it becomes interesting, because at first all of their and it was funny because when the cult was talking about it, they were like, what are we gonna do? Like, we don't have original sin. That's part of our it's part of our like religion, that we don't have original sin, and that's why people like us. And if we introduce original sin now, what, like, they'll be like, no, we don't want your religion anymore. It was pretty funny. I thought that, like, their discussions was
the
fun.
contradiction of the premise, right? Like, the concept of the original sin is for you to live a good life, accept Jesus, and be redeemed. I mean, that's the general understanding of it, to keep it short and sweet. But here you have a situation where, the baby is being decreed, and it's like, well, we just haven't baptized him yet or something. Like, there's no, they don't really, it doesn't, at least from what I've read, it doesn't seem like they really explore the redemption arc of that. And that's kind of like one of the things that's actually very important with regards to religion, is the fact that to be redeemed, to accept sins, to take responsibility, and to try and live a better life is actually considered good. And it's also part of the fundamentals of the justice system, even though it doesn't always work as well intended, is that it's, let a person face their punishment, and ideally the punishment is a lesson learned so that they don't repeat it again and they become a better person. That's the whole arc of redemption and reformation with regards to the prison system. The intention, at least, not always the result, of course. And it is up, also the agency is up to the onus is on the individual who has been punished to want to do that. And that, again, that's a very, very fun subject to tackle. But in the episodes that I saw and what I read, it doesn't seem to matter at this point. You do it once and you're done, so to speak. It's and
which
they
is
don't
no
actually
fun.
have and what is it? The new truth are trying to find out all the rules of the sin so that they can help people, because I really liked the investigation aspect of the chairman, where he's like, well, why you, this woman with 2 children with 2 different fathers, why are you being condemned? Like, I like that. I liked him investigating that, or at least trying to, and how it got under her skin and everybody else's, that he was intruding. But
I really like the investigation factor too. That's why I like the cop, and I like the journalist, because I thought they were like, them finding stuff out was pretty cool. In that sense, and same with the other guy, like the evil guy. I forget what his name was though. This dude right here. Hold on, like I just saw his
is
face.
it the arrowhead guy?
Well, no, actually, I was gonna. Interesting that you bring up that guy, because that guy pissed me off. I was like, every time it was on the screen, I was like, can we stop this dude?
Oh yeah.
He was really badass, but also like really like evil badass. Like he was just so brainwashed. Like there was no hope for someone like him. And it totally reminds me of some cultish people that we know in this world now. But hold on, I'm trying to get. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. So like, even like, I'm trying to get the scene where the thing appears over the baby, because I was like, dude, that is literally a hologram. Like that cannot be. This has to be technology. Like,
And that baby doesn't understand what the heck he's being told it.
Well, I just thought we're getting to a point now where it's precognition type stuff, like Minority Report type stuff.
oh,
This baby's gonna be a devil in the future, so let's get rid of him. Or
It's
he's
the
gonna be
second,
evil.
Yeah.
It's the second leader of that national party in Germany from
Yeah.
yeah, like he's like baby Himmler or whatever.
But why would God allow that child to be born and not just take it whilst in the womb? Because that happens without any external factors, mind you, just the tragic loss of a pregnancy.
This part also scared me in a sense that like when the baby got the decree, I was like, I don't know if I can watch this, because like, it's one thing to watch adults get like, dragged and like fucking torn to pieces and shit, and it's another to watch a baby. Like I was like, I I don't know where they're gonna go with this, but there's no way they're gonna like do that to a baby. So this has to somehow turn good. Like I was very concerned about the baby getting like, I don't know, graphically killed.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that they didn't do it. When actually I thought they were. I thought it was going to be off screen, because that would
I
be one
figured
of
they'd
the
just
most.
pick up the baby and like coddle it, and then all three of them and the baby would just vanish, and there wouldn't be any trace left behind.
Now, why do you guys think the baby survived? Like the fact that like, because the parents weren't decreed.
No.
And they took the parent like the parents got screwed. they got taken. But the baby survived, and the baby's the one that's gonna possibly be adult Himmler or Hitler, whatever. So how do you guys? Why do you, Jane? Why do you think the baby survived?
I don't. No idea. Maybe there was a bargain. I mean, clearly, really, I think there was a bargain made, and they just changed their minds or consented to this unspoken agreement that they would let the baby live, but they would take their lives in exchange.
Well, they were planning on killing the parents too. Like they were like, because they were getting in the way, and then
Yeah, but
I
they
don't
weren't
know.
like the parents. I think like if there's a list, the parents weren't on the list.
No.
So I think that was the idea behind it. But then that introduces a new question. If they have a particular motivation for why they're taking people, then what would be the reason for changing their mind? And
Well, that's
how does
the
it
thing,
affect their
Jane.
motive?
Because they like the series was trying to say that there was no motive and there was no rhyme or reason, that this was just an act of like a bizarre, like that's what the Min, like the main character, and the other people were saying, that this, because there's no rhyme or reason, this shouldn't be a religion because this is like a freak thing, like an earthquake, like you can't look into it like that. But I didn't like that factor. Like I was like, I think there is a rhyme and there has
There's
to
always a
be.
cause. Yeah.
Yeah,
There
like
has to be some factor behind it all, some reason, some rationale. And if anything, I think the movie failed in fully exploring that, because that would have been interesting to see the characters try to develop some theories and test test those theories somehow. I don't know how, but it would have been fun to see.
You would need to know like someone who's been decreed and then be like, yo, like, have you killed people or something? No.
Or
Okay.
maybe
What'd you do? Yeah, like
or have someone volunteer to do something like that.
oh my God. Yeah, like oh no, that would be crazy. Yeah, the other guy, that dude, screenshot of him. But like every time I was like, man, do I have to listen to this guy? And he would just go on and on. And I was like, is this gonna end at any point? This dude right here. Okay, thank God I let my grab the freaking screen of this dude. Holy shit. Like I was like, this part was so Asian. Like I was like this is so Asian. Like nobody would do this. like other than Asian people.
Or very disturbed people.
Yeah. Like I was like, I mean, who would do this? This is fucking nuts. But so the New Truth, which is the cult, was in cahoots with these people, which were what were they called then again?
The Arrowhead.
The Arrowhead, that's right. So like the Arrowhead would go around and basically like commit sin, really. Like they would just go around and like beat the shit out of people and do whatever in the name of this church, in the name of New Truth. And the New Truth would like pretend that they didn't know what was going on, but then they totally did. Those things were also very fascinating to me because I'm like that's a lot of like parallels with organized religion and just basically anything really, like think of Scientology, like like they have people that go around and
Well, it's an ideology, and they're getting lost in the lessons and taking them far to the most extreme in order to showcase their commitment to the cause. Right? It's basically it's a form of virtue signaling, essentially. It's saying like, oh, this is the religion, this is what God intends, and I am the only one, and I'm the most suited to express what that means, because look how virtuous I live, and look at me judging these other people and completely forgetting, judge not lest ye be judged. So yeah, like it's all about the hypocrisy and the indoctrination and the being able to succumb to an idea that you probably haven't spent enough time thinking about. You just accept the face value facts and ignore the nuance and the actual lessons that are trying to be conveyed from such works. Because that's what the arrowhead is really just doing. And to a degree, I guess the New Truth is doing that as well.
Well, and one thing, if I saw a parallel actually not necessarily of organized religion, but maybe something we've seen in the United States of people going around beating the living crap out of people that they perceive to be sinning in the the newer religion, if you will, the religion of woke, that they'll go and they'll attack, they'll beat the crap, and they'll film it, and no one will do anything about it.
There was a lot of parallels with that as well. Like I was thinking of like, the cult of like Fauci and like the maskers stuff.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, there's so like, because that was like the interesting part for me was the time jump, because like, at the beginning, this New Truth, there was just like a very niche group, like nobody cared, and like, they were just like, whatever, like who gives a fuck. They're a bunch of people on like Reddit, basically, like, just doing weird shit. And then all of a sudden it's like they're literally an organized religion, and they're like holding like mass, and like, it's just, it was so fucking weird. Like but things happen so fast nowadays, so it feels like maybe 5 years is like maybe you can make a case for that.
I think if you saw the effects, like the things that people say who are part of organized religion in terms of consequences for bad behavior, if you saw those consequences immediate, or seemingly so, I know someone in chat said they're projecting their sins onto these decrees, but from their perspective, it's the sin that's causing it, right? So if you begin to actually see that happen, you would get in line pretty quickly, I think. If there are predictable consequences, like that severe consequences, it wouldn't take much. I could see it happening pretty quickly.
But in contrast to that, what you've also have is you've now created a society that has given the masses permission to hate on a sinner without any trial or any evidence or proof. Just the only evidence you have is the decree, and because it's coming from, they assume it's a God. We don't know.
Yeah.
That assumption is being made. So now you're actually circumventing the concept of reasonable doubt and the pursuing of justice, and also you're robbing that person of the very essence of religion, which is redemption.
I think it's I think in this society there wouldn't be redemption. It's sort of, they're looking at it as definitive, and they're looking at that decision being just, so they're not questioning it. It's like whoever's making these decisions, whatever that thing is, it must be right, and so we have to get on board.
The only time they will question it is when it comes for them, and they won't understand the hypocrisy from that.
Yeah, and again, a lot of parallels with the way a lot of things are. Nobody minds if it happens to somebody else, does it? But as far as the implications for it being religion, you're seeing how it's kind of started to fall apart as a religion. They even explicitly say, how are we going to show ourselves different from Christianity if we do this? And they're sitting around trying to manipulate it, almost make this man-made religion, and that's why it doesn't work.
I really like that part though, where they're trying to figure out like, how do we spin this? Like, the guy's like, what about original sin? We should do original sin. And,
and it's like, it's already been done. It's already been done. And to Jane's point, I can tell you as a practicing Christian that it sometimes does drive you a little crazy. Like, well, here it's like, well, if you steal, lie, cheat, it's wrong. but then you see people stealing, lying, and cheating, and they're making all the money. They're the heroes and everything. It's the age-old
Yeah.
question.
They're getting elected politicians. They're doing great.
Yeah, exactly. Among other things.
And
So
then
you're-
what is the threshold? What's the threshold for, okay, so you lie once out of maybe fear or survival, and now you're a sinner and you're condemned to hell? Like,
Yeah.
that's the other part too, is you don't know all the details of the rules. Like, it starts with the extreme, like this person killed multiple people, they had their bodies in their apartment or whatever. You're like, okay, we can understand that. But then it starts to broaden the scope of what a sin is. And now minor indiscretions that would otherwise not be considered truly sinful are possibly the potential for what will happen to these people. And then what you end up getting is essentially a form of communism and fascism. It's like you are utterly under the control of someone else and you have no agency at all. You are now in trouble.
They literally did though. They were becoming like judge, jury, and executioner at that point because like they started to do stuff like this. Like they started to like burn people alive, and they were like, oh, the sinner who denied God, and all these people like and it was really fucking crazy. The other part which it was like when like not that it would make me laugh, but I was like kind of just chuckling in my head because it reminded me like again of the mask cult, because the dudes, they would wear the mask on their face as they were trying to kill these people. Like they literally had like the Fauci masks on, and I thought that was funny. Obviously they're doing it to like protect their identity, but still, I mean, they could have worn any masks, but they wore those face masks, and it was funny. I wonder if that was like a, intentional thing or not, that they did. That scene where that...
Don't they wear them all the time in Asia anyway because of the air?
That's true. But I mean, nobody else was wearing them though.
Oh, okay.
What's it called? That scene where that chick got beat up with her mom, like in the garage. That was intense. Like I was like, holy shit. But I like, honestly, like I was expecting her to die too, because I was like, why isn't she dead? Like she just got beat the shit out of. Like the way that she got beaten up, like you would die. This is what I'm talking about. Like they were wearing these ones.
Fauci masks. Yeah. Well, and what kind of evil has to be in your soul to kick the living crap out of an old lady who's obviously dying of cancer?
It was so crazy. I don't know. That scene was really.
I mean, that's the mob mentality. I mean, people we've seen throughout history. When they get riled up, they get driven to that kind of craziness.
Yeah.
Or they at least use the mob as an excuse to exercise their evilness.
Well, it's about temptation, right? If you find an avenue to get away with something that maybe you otherwise would be apprehensive to do so, or that you have really wanted to do but didn't because it's not God that would punish you, it's society. But now society is saying, no, it's okay. You can now watch this person be tortured to death and not help them. You can watch this. You can accost this person in the street for them committing a sin, whether it's minor or great. I mean, that people will totally abuse that, because that's one of the things that we as a species have a very difficult thing grasping, is the concept of discipline and responsibility.
I have so many questions for season 2. Like, for example, that one guy who was helping the girl, like Min in like the final episodes, and when he was like telling his story to the producer dude, and like his daughter got the decree in their car, and then like he had the car accident, and then she like got burnt up by the ocean, and like he was like, she got that was like years ago when that happened. So it's like, are all these people gonna come back now? And like where are their bodies? Because most of these people probably been buried. I mean, it's just so bizarre because that they kept that one person because she was the first, right? Like that scene was so weird to me. I don't know where they're going with this for season 2. I'm like, huh?
It just seems very, again, it goes back to what I said at the start, which is if this is real, like if this is a god thing, why are these like demons not more frequent? Why isn't it why is it taking so long? I don't. It just seems like it would be a light switch. You turn, God decrees, okay, this is what's happening, and all of a sudden you can't go an hour without seeing these demons take somebody and just torture them and then zap their souls.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the reason why this really isn't God. And to go to Nina's theory, some science fiction thing, some aliens, whatever it is what's going on, because it's not consistent, as you said. And if you've got an omniscient God, you can't. So something else is going on. Something else is at play.
Well, I mean, and it's weird too, because Teresa, like the whole time when I was watching it, and I was thinking, okay, let me entertain the idea that it is God. But I was thinking to myself, like, this doesn't seem like God. It seems like the devil. Like the devil seems to be doing, like, I don't know, this would be a devilish thing, especially like a baby. Like, are you kidding me? Like that, yeah.
Or aliens.
Or aliens, but
aliens, yeah, but because it
that's
seems kind
sci-fi.
of it seems kind of counterproductive in the understandings of the abstract of God and the devil, because even though Lucifer is a fallen angel, his responsibility is to punish those that do evil. And I always found it kind of weird. You'd hear stories about him tempting people, because it's like he doesn't need to do that. But then you have the later books where they talk about, okay, there's a war between heaven and hell. And then you have to ask the question, well, why would God entertain such a concept? Because if he is all powerful and all thing, like that war is over. And if it can't be over, then he's not omnipotent. And like there's all these questions of logic and even faith that come into play there. But to say, like, for the devil, I mean, you want to hit something that's more familiar. It's always about the seduction and the volunteering of your soul over to him so that he wins, in essence. And this here, it doesn't seem like it's a volunteering at all. It's literally like a snatch and grab and torture. And it's like some sort of third element is at play here that we don't know about.
Like an experiment.
Yeah. But for the most part, script, you're right, but there is the phenomenon, well, depending on whether you believe it, of demonic possession. And the reason why demonic possession, whether you believe in it or not, doesn't happen too frequently is because it does not really benefit the devil, because the person's soul is still saved.
It's other demons that are doing the possession as opposed to Lucifer himself.
Well, yes, but that's the whole thing but the demonic will, it's very rare, but it is possible to have an act that is not an act of seduction in traditional Christian view of that.
Yeah.
But also Satan or the devil likes to sometimes imitate God just because he's jealous of God. And if this is a demonic activity going on, this is the kind of way that a devil would distort the idea of divine judgment and punishment and hell and sin. So that could also be a possible interpretation if that's where they want to go.
It would be the ultimate manipulation.
Yeah.
It'd be bad.
That's why I kind of also think it could be a third, like you were saying before, a third party or an alien or something else, sort of messing with people and experimenting with our minds. You know, it could also be a simulation. You're talking about how could they resurrect them back? I mean, that could be part of it, and these people just don't know that they're not real.
Ooh, I didn't think about that, Jane. Simulation stuff. Of course you would.
You know I love that.
Because you're fucking AI, girl. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah, you know what? That could be the case. I mean, like it could also be like us from the future stuff. Like maybe it's that dude. Like, see, I was thinking, and I know this is gonna sound bad, but I was thinking like that. I was thinking that holographic thing like kind of resembles the main cult leader. Like I was like, this is like, I mean, it's a little bit of a resemblance. Like I was like, you know, is it possible that it could be him from the future somehow doing the, I don't know, but I mean, clearly he's gonna come back though, because now he's gonna be resurrected. So that's gonna be weird. People are saying aliens.
Yeah, and Cavatino Che, I think it is kind of like a take on Revelations, just a weird take. Sort of like Noah was a take on Noah, that movie. I don't know if y'all have seen it.
Maybe.
It's a
Who's in that?
really, really weird.
Is it 2014 film?
Yeah. Russell
Uh,
Crowe's in it.
Oh yeah.
I think I saw that and I thought it sucked.
It was so bizarre.
I don't
But it's
remember.
like it's sort of like that kind of warped take on what you know of a particular story or whatever. Yeah.
See, I don't know much about like Revelations or anything. Like, I don't know anything specific about like, the
Like the
Bible and
rapture?
stuff. I know like the generalities, but I don't know. I'm not too familiar about
You mean
that
like
kind of stuff.
could this chimichanga be Jesus and he is there judging people, and then what we're seeing as the rapture is the souls are being sent to hell before the others are sent to heaven, type of thing? And
Well,
then those that are
there's
in
this
the-
part. There's this
Ooh.
part in Revelation. I can't remember exactly what part because it's so weird and it's so much. But there's this part where the demons are allowed, or the angels, one of them, they're allowed to kill people for a period of time. And I think maybe if they're basing, they could have been inspired by that particular scene where these demon things or killer angels or whatever are unleashed on Earth to actually harm people physically. There's this point where they're able to terrorize them, but then there's a period after that where they're able to actually kill them.
Isn't that like the Sodom and Gomorrah thing too? Like that's there, right? Like because they think that they're like evil now, or
that's in
they're
the old-
sinners.
the
that's
village of
Testament.
Sodom, or the city of Sodom, is being.
Yeah. They
smited
wanted to
by
gang
God.
ramp an angel.
Yeah, and then
They were bad.
and the lesson is that you're supposed to give that gang your daughter and let the angel escape.
Well, no,
Whoa, whoa,
no.
wow.
No, no.
Teresa,
But-
no.
Well, I mean,
And
a
more
number
no.
of priests that I have had the pleasure of talking to have said that is what you're supposed to do: sacrifice your children to spare the angels from the mob. And I'm like, that's dark. That doesn't sound very divine. And also, they're angels. Can't they fly?
I know. It's like, come on now.
No, it's a whole. It's. I'm not going to argue Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, well, we'll get off topic.
You could. I mean,
Don't
dude,
let that
this
go.
is the
I'm
place
I'm
to
just
argue
saying,
it.
No, that's the point of the whole story is about the judgment of God on sin. It's not like a lot of those Old Testament stories. The nitty gritty details are not what you're supposed to be looking at. You're supposed to be looking at the overarching theme of God as guiding and as a loving Father and showing that he is a just God. And the whole thing with Abraham saying, if there is one righteous person in Sodom, will you save them? And if there's not, the minutia of it is like, no, that's not the point. You're not supposed to let your daughter be gang raped, because gang rape is also punished by divine punishment. The point is God will punish sin.
Yeah,
Right.
and that it wasn't saying that what he was suggesting was right.
Yeah,
that
not
was
at
just what
all.
he suggested, but that wasn't the point, which is why it didn't happen. But that's the revelate. That was the line I was thinking of. So it was angels actually. There's a point during the end times where they're unleashed to actually kill a third of all the people who are
Ooh.
remaining on Earth.
That's
And
like the vengeful God. He's like,
well,
yeah,
these are people
go.
who they were sinners, right? So that's why if this is what they're thinking of. It could be these aren't demons at all.
They're angels of death.
That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, there's 3 of them. If there was 4, that would be a bit more telling. But we only ever see 3.
We do always only see 3. Wait,
Yeah.
isn't that a like interesting number too, though? In like the Bible, like there's
Trinity.
well, there's the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse,
It's the 4
right?
horsemen. It's
Four.
the 4 horsemen of the
Oh, it's
apocalypse.
4.
You have the 4 angels here from what James passage from Revelations. You have the Holy Trinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was, like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, because they're like trying to be godly, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
The Holy
Imitation
Trinity is
God.
kind of weird because it's still all God, is my understanding.
Right.
Yeah, one God
they-
and 3 persons.
They could have picked 3 for the movie just because it's visually,
Yeah.
effective.
That's true. That's true. I mean, because they definitely didn't look godly. They looked very demonish. Like I
They
was
look
like,
like
what?
Clayface.
They did. Like it was weird though. Like they were just so they just didn't seem like heavenly angels or anything. It's like it was just weird to me because it was such a bizarre kind of monsters that they were like, oh, these are angels like sent down to give you like your your decree or your whatever, like that you're guilty and like you're gonna be sent to hell. But they're not pretty at all. Like they're not like they look awful. Like I was like, man, at least if I was gonna be like taken to hell, like send me a sexy angel or something. Like, geez.
Can you imagine that? Like Jason Momoa.
Right? Like, come on now. Like, give me like a really hot chick in a 90 or like freaking Jason Momoa shirtless or something. Like, you're gonna go to hell now. I mean, it's the last thing I'm ever gonna see. Come on now.
Well, not really. You're going to see some lots in the realm of brimstone and fire.
Well, that's true. If I go to hell, I'm gonna be seeing a lot of that, I guess. So that's fine. I'm trying to pause it on one of these figures, dude. That first scene, man, like when they came and they were like, "Yeah, we'll kill everyone now." I was like, "The fuck!" Like they dragged that guy. Like it was so graphic. Like I was not expecting that at all. Like I was like, "This is not what I was expecting." They have teeth.
Yeah, look at that monster. Yikes.
So if they have teeth, that means they can eat. So you've determined they may have a weakness.
You also have a mouth. It's so they can speak. Hopefully, they'll at least make noise and sound, which we kind of hear.
You can communicate with them.
You have eyes, so at least you can take them.
eyes.
I mean, the thing is that they're kind of ethereal, but also solid at the same time. Because like that guy shot him, right, and nothing happened really.
No,
but there may be a moment where they're solid. You just have to catch them at the right time.
They're like the Shadow Thief from like the DC.
Oh gosh. There's a quest in Skyrim where you have to do that too.
Well, I thought they were interesting because again, like even in the first episode and like, whenever like they would appear, I was like, see, this is technology because they would disappear in like this portal looking thing. Like a portal would open and they would go into it. And I'm like, it's gotta be technology. Like there's no way this is like a freaking esoteric thing. Like it has to be some form of technology because it's like
they brash down walls and doors indiscriminately when they appear. Like they don't come through the same portal as harmlessly as they go.
Yeah, that's true too. That they did do that, but it was weird to me because, like the Arthur C. Clarke saying like like what is it? Magic is indistinguishable from
science to a primitive species. Science is indistinguishable from magic.
That one, yes. Thank you. I butchered the I was gonna say the tweet,
it, but yeah,
fucking quote. But yeah, like, but that's kind of like what this reminded me of. It's like, okay, like it may seem like a miracle or it may seem like something to us because we don't know what the hell it is, but it could be technology because this thing. I don't know. These things seemed very technological, like the way they materialized and the way that they left. Like it was just all like the decree itself. Like I said, it was like a hologram. Like I was like,
it looked like a portal.
It's a parallel of the series Peripheral, and these three demons are just players in Montana, messing with an adjacent future.
That's kind of like what Trencher said. Maybe it's aliens playing a video game. I kind of like
these are all these are all like NPCs we're following.
Really? I wouldn't like that. I don't know if I would like that. Because then it would be, I don't know, it would be kind of lame if it was like that.
I don't know. I like those stories where there's like some superior power playing games with humans.
Well, I like the superior power part. I don't know if I like the video game part because I'm just like, I don't know, but it could be.
They're just manipulating, like it's not an actual video game, but they're using Earth as a platform to mess with humans.
Okay, yeah, I'm more open to that. That's interesting to me. For some reason, they're fucking with us, though. I would be interested to know how you take these fuckers out.
Yeah. And that's the thing. You would think that that's what humanity would be doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we would be doing. That's what the West would be doing at this point.
That's what America would be doing.
That's what the survival instinct requires you to do, is to basically say, oh, they're coming after me? Well, screw that. Give me some weapon.
Yeah.
Help me find
I'd
something
be
to
like,
fight my-
can we
to
figure
live
out what
longer."
destroys these things? Because they're not going away. We're gonna have to learn how to protect ourselves, especially when babies come into play. I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, let's get some
You crossed
weapons.
the line, demons. We let you kill all these adults. No problem.
You've
Like
taken one
fucking
step too
newborns.
far. Maybe that's why they haven't shown America in this world, because we already built a weapon.
Hey, you know what? That's interesting too, because I was thinking that the whole time I was watching it. I was like, these motherfuckers don't even have a gun. Like,
Yeah.
Well, no, the cops did, and it did nothing.
well, I mean, but
Oh,
most
a
of,
bigger one.
but especially with the people though, like the fucking like the truth people, like okay, leave the demons alone, but the not the truth people, the other guys,
Arrowheads.
the arrowheads. Why do I keep
Mhm.
forgetting their name? The arrowheads, like a bullet will take care of those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
they're coming out, in front, you know, beating up an old lady in a freaking parking lot, fucking, you know, old lady with cancer. It's like, okay, you
Yeah.
need a gun, lady. Come on.
Down
Well,
here,
in
that old
South
lady would have
Korea,
been
they have a-
armed.
They have a
Yeah.
very different culture there too. Like they can be armed in South Korea. The culture just doesn't prefer it. Kind of to a degree in Canada. Like we can buy lots of various guns. We just don't have the culture of wanting to really possess them as frequently as others.
Well, I mean, like that part, like when that happened, and the 5-year jump happened or whatever, that chick, like, she got all badass and she went and like took martial arts. And I'm like, lady, get yourself a gun. Like, she had a freaking taser. I was like,
Yeah.
seriously? Like,
Well,
you
what if
know,
electricity does harm them? We haven't seen that effect on these things. We've seen to use like basically what's the term? So you've got like not or like physical weapons that have not worked against them. So something that's not physical would be electricity to a degree. It's
That's
an
true.
energy force. We haven't seen that.
Mm-hmm.
we haven't seen that. That's right.
We also
I
have
think-
lots of tasers over here.
I mean, I was just thinking about the human people mostly. Like, I'm like, these motherfucking arrowhead people are walking around thinking they're, you know, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, they
Like,
would
no.
be considered a national threat in a place like South Korea and immediately hunted.
They're burning people alive. I was like, dude, like, like, get a gun, people. Like, what the hell? You can't let people, like, you can't let these psychos like walk around freely doing whatever the hell they want. I was totally
And you
thinking
could tell
that
that's what they
too.
were too. It wasn't like they weren't very righteous people.
Mm-mm.
Like you could tell they were just as evil as could possibly be, and were
Mhm.
taking advantage of the situation. So
Well, that
those
tends to be the
people-
case. The evil will exploit the righteous so that they can
Yeah.
satisfy their own delights.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Maybe all they need is love.
Give them big hugs.
It's so gay.
Again, the setting shows that these demons come very infrequently. So clearly, they're doing something right in Seoul.
Well, and that's like, I mean, we laugh, but that's the interesting part of this show is that it actually did show that love and sacrifice, true love and sacrifice, is what stops them. At least it did in case of the baby, because you had both the mother and the father unite in sacrificing themselves for their child. So that to me was probably one of the most interesting ideas, because like obviously in the Bible there is a very heavy idea of sacrifice. You know, Jesus died for our sins, and the sacrifice is a big part of the Bible. So I thought that was really interesting that they made it so that sacrifice stopped them from.
So now they want tributes. That could be
That
It seems
too.
that way, because it's
You
like
know,
the
I
sins
was
of the
thinking
father
that.
fall on the children, right? And it's like, well, that's why they went after the baby. They wanted to get the parents, but it's like, well, why not just get the parents? You know, I mean, there's lots of weird questions to ponder.
I was
But that-
thinking that.
And
Go
that
ahead, Jen.
the problem with that too is if they were to go down that route, then you may have people like a new cult arise where people are voluntarily sacrificing themselves like they did in the old days.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of thinking about when that happened with the baby, and they were discussing like what they should do, and they were like, what should we do? Well, I was thinking to myself, like, well, it can become like an Abrahamic religion where they ask for child sacrifices. I mean, technically, that's kind of what happened in the Bible too, but or like even the old school religions, that they ask for sacrifices all the time. Like God asked for sacrifices, and they would do it, especially in the Maya. There's sacrificial
Yeah.
pits here.
And then the other aspect is that, like, it comes to a philosophical question of, you can help another person, you can pay their debts, you can serve their time for a crime, but at the end of the day, you can't really serve their sins. Those are of your own. That's the contradiction. It's like, Nina, if you get arrested for a crime, I can serve your sentence on your behalf. Like you can do that personal sacrifice. But when it comes to the Almighty, is that really accepted? I mean, he only did that for his son, and even though Jesus died for our sins under that faith, I find that to be the ultimate test, because again, the lessons of the Bible are to teach responsibility and agency, and it's like, okay, if you accept Jesus, he'll take the burden of your sins, and you can enter heaven. And I would be in the position where I would say, well, I'm the one that committed those sins. I did not ask him to die for my sins. I knew of this based on the teaching, so I'm willing to take responsibility for the time served, because if he's already burdened with other people's sins, it would be immoral for me. Even if it's his own wish, it would be immoral for me to abuse that and not pay punishment for the sins I committed. Like, that would be my understanding of it, because that's the true testament of what is kind of being taught in the Bible, is that, there's nothing wrong with accepting Jesus and doing that, but there is something where if you view a bit more as a transaction as opposed to a sacrifice, then you're kind of abusing the very thing, and that's not what's being taught here. It's not about the abuse or the taking advantage of someone else. It's about, are you going to be responsible for who you are and the things that you did, or are you just going to say you are and let this God's son take the burden just because you are terrified to face the consequences of your actions, or didn't think you would ever?
Go ahead, Teresa.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, I don't know if I understood you correctly. Are you saying that your understanding is that because Jesus died for our sins, that means that we're not supposed to be responsible for our sins?
No, it means that we are. That there's
he's saying the opposite.
We are.
Yeah.
It means that we are. It's just that you definitely come across many that say that they aren't as a result, or that they
I see what you're saying.
That they aren't going to face punishment because they've done that. And it's like,
Understood.
well, that might be true
Okay.
in that regard, but does that really mean that you're truly accepting the responsibility of your own actions?
Okay, I
It's
understand.
basically
Okay,
like when you
because
meet a criminal on death row who's like, I accept Jesus in my heart, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. It's like they're just saying that to say that, and hopefully to swindle someone else.
Yeah, I heard Jeffrey Dahmer did that, and I was like, ooh, I don't know about that, because he was all, I found God, and I'm sorry I killed everybody, and I was like, ugh, brah, like you ate people. I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But
okay, I just wanted to clarify that I had heard you correctly, and I think that what you're talking about also is a little bit of different interpretations of Christianity. I follow the Christianity where you do have to accept responsibility for your sins, and you do.
No, I think we're both in agreement on that. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. We're definitely in agreement on that.
Oh yeah, I know, but you're talking. I'm sorry. Yeah, Nita.
No,
I'm
it's
talking
okay.
about the ultimate commitment of like saying, okay, if I'm given the two choices, I mean, because I have empathy, I would probably not want Jesus to take my sins. I'd rather take it myself. I did the crime, I'll do the time, even if it's for eternity.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, there are some practitioners of Christianity that do kind of hold to the other point of view about not having personal responsibility or needing to make reparation for their sin. But that's not for today's conversation.
Well, I mean, this is a very fascinating conversation, and we can talk about it. And that's why I like this show, is because it made me think about a lot of this kind of stuff. And I like philosophical shows that make me think about that kind of stuff. But like Jeff here, he says Abraham only was asked to sacrifice Isaac as a test. It was only that one time. No child sacrifice follows. But here's the thing. Like when I was raised, and I was raised in Iran, so in Islam, like that was one of the main lessons, was that the story of Abraham. So and like they drill that story into your head at a very, very young age. And I never vibed with that story, because even though God was like, I changed my mind. Like I was just testing you to see if you would follow me or not, or like I was just testing you to see if you would do it or not, kind of thing. I always thought, and like I almost got like killed for saying this, because I said this in school, but I was like, no good God would ask a parent to sacrifice their own child. Like I don't care what kind of God that is. That is no God of mine. Like that would never do that. Sorry, what was that, Script?
Even if it were a test, I mean, it's just so evil in motivation.
Yeah, that's what I always thought about it. I never liked that story. I thought that the story was, it was just, for me, like it turned me off of religion and God itself, because I was like, I don't like the idea that a God or any being would demand that of like his followers, and that his followers, even if it was just like a gotcha, like, you don't have to do it. Like, here's a sheep instead, and you can kill the sheep. It's like, what? Like, technically he did actually want sacrifices, because they were like, by the way, like, you don't have to kill your kid. I'll give you a sheep to kill for me instead. It's like, nah. I'm not interested in a God that wants sacrifices. And I thought that was a really crazy story. What are your views on that, Teresa? Because since you are, more religious than I am, what is your interpretation of the Abraham story?
Well, the good news is yay, I don't have to hate God. God is. I hold to the theory that God is not a jerk. I'm a Catholic. Okay, so
me too. I don't think he is either. I love God.
Yeah. I think he is, and that's why I like him.
Oh.
Yeah. So when I say there's other interpretations, so I'm coming at this from the Catholic interpretation of salvation and all that kind of stuff. The other one, the other interpretations, I'm not speaking up for here. What I look at when I look at that is that everything in the Old Testament is a mirror. It is something that is echoed in the New Testament. It's what we call a type. So everything in the Old Testament has a correlation in the New Testament, and that God in his eternal wisdom and all of that for his plan of salvation, it was all leading to that. So he wasn't doing that necessarily to test Abraham or even to do all of that. He was doing that to show us that what he was going to be doing with Jesus in the New Testament. And this can be a bit controversial. We take a little more allegorical view of the Old Testament. Were the details exactly like that? We don't have to believe that. We have to look at what God was trying to show us through that. And then God instead says, take this lamb instead, or whatever. And what does he do in the New Testament? He says, the Lamb of God. So that's why I don't personally have a problem with it, because I look at it in view of the New Testament.
Okay. All right. Jane, do you have any thoughts on this?
That's called the sequel trilogy, for those that don't know.
Precisely.
No, I agree. I mean, from sort of the evangelical perspective, we look at it from that perspective as well. Like, it was foreshadowing what God would be doing with Christ, but also we take a literal look at it as well as an actual thing that happened. So that there was this relationship between God and Abraham, and what his expectations were for him and what he was preparing him for. But at the same time, the entire story was a reflection of what we would see in the future.
I mean, it was written 3,000 years after the fact, so it's really a retcon.
It totally was. But that, like, going back to the show though, and the idea of like the sacrifice, I thought the other thing that they would do when they were trying to figure out how to spin the story about the baby was to say that the sins of the mother went into the fetus, like because she was pregnant, so that like her sins went into the baby or something.
But that would suggest that they were like confused about that. Like, was there a glitch in the Matrix?
Yes.
During the pregnancy? and somehow the sins went to the child, or they
Or it was a
confused
child that
it.
was conceived outside of wedlock and they didn't get married till after.
Oh.
Yeah,
They
but that's
didn't
still
see.
not
They
the
didn't go
kid's
into
fault.
that though.
It's not the kid's fault, but heck, we do know that in many cases. I mean, you don't call the parents indecent, you call the child the bastard in that case. Like that's
Well-
it's not the kid's fault, but yet they're referred to as bastard. Like that's not nice. I mean, they
Like
had no
Jon
control.
Snow.
Yeah,
Bastards.
he would have been cold.
Well, I still go with the whole idea that this is like a perversion of what is good and what is sinful, and not to get too controversial, but who likes to kill babies a lot? Okay, so it's not God. Let me put it to
I
you that way.
I know. That's why I was like, this is the devil's work. There's no way
Yes.
this is God. Like,
Yeah.
it's either God, it's either the devil or some sort of fucking technology and aliens or something.
I wouldn't even think it would necessarily be the devil. I think because it would seem, to the extent that you can understand his perspective, that he would get a kick out of messing with adults more so than infants. Like, that didn't
Unless he's
really.
messing with an infant in order to mess with the adults. Like that's the other part. too.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
towards the
but
end is-
also he hates innocence and babies. Anything that reminds him of innocence or goodness or Jesus, baby Jesus, 6 pound 8 ounces, baby Jesus. That would just be something that he just hates because he hates what is good. And I want to make this clear about the Abraham thing. I think maybe I might have misspoke a little bit. I'm not saying necessarily that we don't believe in literal things that was going on between Abraham and God. I'm just saying that it's hard to explain that you need to look at it big picture wise and not necessarily through the eyes of maybe what we would be wanting to do, because everything that was written down was done to teach us something. And
Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I do that now, but
yeah,
back then when I was a
understood.
kid and I
Yeah.
heard the story, I was like, what if God asked my mom to sacrifice me? Is she gonna say yes? Like, fuck that bitch. Like, no.
yeah.
Like,
I didn't want to misrepresent the Catholic position on
No, I
these
know, I
things.
understand. I understand. No. But my mom was like, no. Like, we're not religious, so don't worry about it.
we're just stuck here.
Yeah, we're just stuck in this fucking country. I was like, wait, like, why am I Muslim? Like, can I pick to be a Christian? Because I wanted to be Christian. And they were like, no, like, you're gonna kill us. Like, stop.
Gosh,
Wait.
Nina.
This is in Iran. You were saying this?
Yes.
Oh my
Because I
Gee
like
whiz,
Jesus.
girl.
When I was in Iran, I was growing up, I had this dance teacher. She was Syrian, just a beautiful woman. And she was Christian, and she was very nice to me, and she celebrated Christmas, and she told me about Christmas, and I was like, I want a Christmas tree. And my parents were like, we can't have one because we're not Christian. And in Iran, they would only sell Christmas trees to Christian people. And I was like, well, like, I asked her to tell me about Christianity, and she did. She told me about Jesus, and she showed me a picture of him, and I was like, wow, he's really pretty. And
Was
in
he a
Iran,
McGregor?
yeah, and in Iran, I was like, I don't even know what Muhammad looks like. His face is blank because we're not allowed to have depictions of Muhammad. So I was like, so you guys have a God or like a son of God that is pretty, and he's nice, and you can see his face, but I can't see anything about Muhammad and like all the stuff. And so your religion seems a lot nicer. Also in the West, where you practice Christianity, women are free. So I feel like maybe Christianity is just like more up my alley. And they were like, stop talking. I was like,
It's like, shut up, child.
well, my mom was like, that's really sweet, but you really can't say this stuff in school. Like, she was like, please don't tell people that you want to be Christian in school. I was like, but I do. I love Jesus. They were like,
We're
please
so
no.
lucky there wasn't like a Google Home or Alexa when we were kids, because the government would have spied on that. and
They
taken
would have
it all
come
away.
swooping in.
How do I
Oh.
become a Christian?
Yeah, and then I found out Jesus was from the Middle East, and I was like, then how come I can't be Christian? This is fucked. Like, what the hell?
and they're like, shut up, and they're like,
And I'm
Oh,
like
man.
asking my mom, like, why can't I be Christian? And she's like, well, because you were born in Iran, and in Iran, if you're born here, you're a Muslim. And I was like, what the hell kind of bullshit is that? That's geography. Like, you can't, like, there's no force field. So,
Oh no.
yeah, I was a little shit starter.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's
That could have gone really bad though.
it could have, I really wanted to celebrate Christmas. Why do you guys think I like Christmas so much? And I go crazy every Christmas and I decorate everything. And because as a child, I just wanted a fucking Christmas tree and I couldn't get one. So now I'm
We're overcompensating, and we're all grateful for it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm overcompensating now. It's true. I've already been buying ornaments for Christmas. My husband's like, you need to stop.
Oh, there.
Yay, Jane! Yay!
I'm okay.
Thanksgiving's
Fine.
in
I'll.
2 weeks.
I know it's not even Advent yet, but okay, fine. Let me.
I'm
do
ready.
mine too.
I'm
There you
fucking
go.
ready too,
For
man.
you, Nina.
Oh,
For you, Nina.
yay! Oh my god, wait, do I have mine? Hold on. Let me see if I
I
have.
don't have a hat.
Let me see if I have one. Yes, I do.
I've got a
Yay! Santa's coming, you guys. Look, wait, I have Santa right here. This picture
Santa,
is always
I know
here
him.
because Santa goes on vacation in Cancun, and he had his portrait drawn when he was here. So there you go. I like talking about this kind of stuff. I like these shows though because again, like it really like made me think about a lot of stuff. It made me think about all the stories you hear, all the interpretations, like how when something like that happens, like we want to find an answer. We want to find a reason. And so like no matter what, we do something, like we just we'll make up something, we'll go with whatever theory, but trying to really discover what that means takes a lot of sacrifice. Actually, like it takes sacrifice to figure out what it truly is, like what the truth truly is. And that's again another Bible quote, right? The truth shall set you free. I thought that was an interesting aspect of the show as well.
There's so many different layers to it. Like,
Yeah, a
it is
lot of
really
layers.
a deep show.
I was.
It's a wonder you didn't like somehow manage to get one.
It's funny.
I
Pine
didn't
trees
get.
are very close to Christmas trees.
I was so sad, Jane. Like we would walk by, there was like all these Christmas trees, and I'd be like, "Can I have one of those?" My dad would be like, "No, keep walking." Oh, and I was like, "Can I? I just want one." But okay. Season 2 is gonna come out. There is no date, but there is definitely it's been done. And I also heard that they've already put out a webtoon, which this series was based on, by the way, like because they had webtoons and I guess it was really successful, so they started doing these. Netflix signed them, but apparently they've already put out, or they're going to be putting out a webtoon already for season 2. So that's interesting. They're not like Cobra Kai season 6. We know that it's going to happen, so I'm interested. I'm interested to know what the next season holds. I mean, we've already kind of discussed what we think might happen, but Jane, do you have any other theories? Jane theory about season 2?
I mean, there's so many different directions they could go in. I like the idea of it being like future people doing it. I like the idea of it being a simulation. I like the idea of it being aliens. But I think we need a solution. Like we need an answer.
We do.
This season. I don't want it to drag out because I feel like you could give us the answer in season 2 and then have the people figure it out, and then have season 3 be the fight.
Ooh.
Between mankind and whatever.
And that's the other thing too, is that I'm wondering if the other side's gonna start showing up too, because I mean, technically, there's two sides, right? I mean, if they're
Mhm.
gonna say this is God,
Right.
then is the other guy's gonna show up and be like, hey, that's not God, or like whatever, or maybe vice versa, like, hey, that like we're God, okay? These motherfuckers are the devil, and they're doing whatever, and
Mm.
we're not having any of that. Like, is the other side gonna show up no matter what side this is? I don't know.
Or
That'll be
some sort of
interesting too.
help. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean something. That's interesting. See, you made me think, Jane. Okay. What about you, Teresa? Do you have any theories for next season?
Yeah. Until you all said it, I didn't even think of it with the demon body people, like as an inversion or a sacrilege on the resurrection of the body at the end of time. It's the resurrection of the body for the demons, but they're like possessed, and we're gonna have like demon people going around, and it'll be crazy.
Demon people. It might be.
That would be pretty freaking cool though if they go in that direction.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do then?
Yeah, what do you do? It's crazy. And are they gonna be like actual people, or are they gonna be, like Script Doctor said, like, are they gonna have a soul, or are they not gonna have a soul? Are they gonna be flesh and blood? Like, are they gonna bleed red? Are they gonna be some sort of different human now? I mean, I don't know.
Is this an inverse of James Cameron's Avatar, where the demons just possess a cloned body of an existing species and walk it among the rest of the populace without their knowledge?
Ooh.
That would be fascinating too. See, these are good. Maybe we're giving them ideas. That's great.
Well, they'll have to use them for season 3 because season 2 is already done. It's debuting in a few weeks, I think.
Is it really?
Isn't
Are we
it? Or
that
is it?
close?
Because
No.
season 1 was 2021, so you'd expect season 2 to be sometime this year.
Oh,
Or
well,
at
no,
least
I
early
already
next
looked
year.
at.
I
They don't
looked-
have a date yet.
They don't have a date. They don't have a
Oh,
date.
they don't. Okay, I must
No.
have misread something in my readings earlier.
It could be the webtoon that they're putting out, because I think the
Oh, okay.
webtoon's gonna come out sooner than the other one. Week period. Let's see. No. But I mean, you're right though, and it's only 6 episodes, so like you would think that it wouldn't take that long to make, because it's just 6 episodes.
Maybe it takes Netflix that long to translate it and then dub it.
That's true too. Man, there's so many languages that it had it into. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like, there was Hindi, like freaking Spanish, Italian, like every fucking language you could think of. They had like subtitles and like dubs for. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of like options. The Koreans are definitely stepping up their game. But okay, I am going to announce this year right now. We're definitely reviewing that weird series that is made by the Dark people. And by that I mean the people who created Dark on Netflix, not anything else. Like, don't get any fucking ideas over there. I forget what they were called. The German people that created the series Dark on Netflix. We're gonna be watching that series, their new show. What is that
Oh,
called
yeah,
again?
for sure.
Because that's coming
Everybody
out.
knows
Like, I think that's coming out next week. Let's see, what were they called? I'm trying to let's see. Dark. This dude. Baron Bo Odar. He made it. It's called 1899.
Oh.
1899, and it's going to be released very soon. The
And they
17th.
aren't giving away too much in the trailers, which I appreciate.
I know. I was thinking that too, because usually the trailers like giving everything away, and I was like, oh, the trailer's like really nicely done. Like it didn't give much away. It was just like, oh, it's on a ship. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So November 17th, it's airing. I'm watching. It's supposed to be 8 episodes. And they're dropping all at the same time. Great.
Yay!
We're binging.
Yay.
It's getting binged hard. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys. It's terrible. That was terrible phrasing. Okay. Any final thoughts about this show? Because I think that we talked about it. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's one of the shorter ones we've ever covered, but I mean, it's a very simplistic show. My only criticisms is that the first episode was really front loaded with a lot of exposition and flashbacks.
Yeah.
But after that, it got more and focused on the story, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to be finishing it off, and I do look forward to the second season.
Yeah, definitely do finish it so that we can, further discuss it later, especially when the season 2 drops, because we will be reviewing season 2 as well. Now that we've all watched it, we're definitely going to review season 2.
Yeah.
I will also, real quick before we call it, just to let everybody know that there's something going on with me. I am right now currently fundraising for my cosplay calendar. And it's quite amazing. The reception has been really, really awesome. So if you guys are interested right now, I'm fundraising for this. So help make it happen by funding the campaign for my calendar. You have 3 options right now, or actually 4. You could just contribute if you're not interested in the product, but you just want to help me out. That's one way. Or if you want to get the calendar, the blue tier is the best for you. That's just basically the calendar. The yellow tier comes with the calendar and a poster. The poster will be the best of the bunch, whatever pictures we pick, probably the one on the cover of the calendar. And then the red tier, which is the calendar, the poster, and a 30 page book, like an art book, which will include all of the characters of the calendar, all of the months, and also 18 bonus pictures, which will have like artsy look to them, or if they're like awesome pictures that we wanted to add, because you take hundreds of photos in one photo shoot, and then you want to do it like that. So there you go. Right now, the list is Faye Valentine, Laura Croft, Sailor Moon, Tifa, Triss, Chun-Li, Supergirl, Punisher, Ninja Girl, Talia al Ghul, Red Sonja, and Christmas Elf. All of these are subject to change just in case I can't get a hold of the costume or something like that. But I have backups already. So there you go. Please consider backing it. And if you can't back it, that's totally fine. Share it on your social media and let people know what is going on. There it is, back the calendar. I can spell. Or it's also in the description and in the pinned comment. There we go. And that's my shilling for today. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. I'm so excited for this show. Not even JK. I really want to watch that.
It's fun to be excited about something that could be good.
I know,
Yes.
right?
It's been such a long time.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was watching Black Panther, I was like, this can't be real. Real quick, Jane, what'd you think of Black Panther?
I mean, it was fine. It's just there were some things I didn't like. I didn't feel like they needed to do. I'm somewhat biased because I felt like it should have been recast. So I kind of walked in with a chip on my shoulder. I felt like it should have been recast for a ton of reasons. But besides that, if you were going to do this after watching the film, it felt like it would have been better as a one-off special rather than a full movie. And you could have shaved off a good bit of this. There was just so many extra stuff that didn't matter, like the UN getting involved. I don't know what that was about.
That was all about the titanium, or what was titanium?
Vibranium.
Thank you.
It didn't make any sense because they would have already, I feel, have access to it, or they would have already built something to detect it.
Riri did.
But that didn't make any sense. Like, why would she? I just feel like what should have happened, you could have done a quick thing where the Black Panther, if you wanted him, you didn't want to recast right now. You could have had him die in battle against Namor and his people because they're just evil pricks. Like, whatever the reason, you don't even have to give it to us. But they were in a fight. He killed him. Now you have a reason for Wakanda to want to fight this much more powerful people, because they were set up as incredibly powerful, to the point where it didn't make sense for them to need Wakanda as an ally. and yet the entire plot is them trying to force Wakanda to be an ally, which makes no sense if you alone single-handedly can destroy their entire country, which is basically what he's capable of doing. So
Right.
it was just stupid how it was set up. That said, I liked that Shuri was sort of, there was this shift in her personality wise where she became like a big sister.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that. I liked her maturity. I liked her negotiating skills and her being a diplomat, like stepping up as a queen, essentially, and showing that she was capable of that. I liked her religious arc. How in the beginning she didn't believe, she wasn't a believer, and then by the end, she was.
I don't know if she was.
I
That
think
was
she
the
was
interesting
because
part.
she saw the other side.
Yeah, but I don't think she was. I think she was so desperate to reach out for anything that
Mhm.
she was willing to try it. It wasn't like she was like, I'm a believer now. It was
No,
like,
no,
oh,
not
okay.
when she tried it, but, like, after she saw it with her own eyes, and then
Oh,
in
okay.
particular when she actually saw her mom
Yes.
communicate with her, I feel like
Yes.
that's sort of when it clicked and she became, sort of one with her faith as well as her
Right.
culture and all of that.
Right.
And I liked seeing Wakanda. I just wish we could have spent more time there.
Mm.
So, yeah, those are my high points and low points.
I thought, like, I have a theory, Jane, and like, you call me stupid if you want. It's totally fine. But like, I was like thinking, like, because of the ending. Spoiler alert for Black Panther 2, because I'm going to fucking spoil the shit out of that movie right now. So
Yeah.
like, spoiler fucking alert. I'm telling
Yeah.
you guys right now. If you don't want to hear about the ending of Black Panther 2, please take your headphones out or leave or whatever. Whatever. I'm spoiling it.
Mhm.
Spoiling it. So in the end, when they revealed that T'Challa had a child,
Mhm.
and he's there's a boy named T'Challa, so they're
Yeah.
kind of like setting it up that like this kid is going to be the Black Panther later on.
Mhm.
That's what I'm assuming, because they didn't want to recast right now.
Mhm.
Now, I agree with you that I think they should have recast. However, because they didn't recast, they could have also gone like this route. Like now, if they wanted to be like good, if they wanted to be good with, like, Marvel doesn't want to be good anymore, meaning like
Right.
they don't want to make good movies.
Yeah.
But if they wanted it to be good, they should have done a time jump. And they should have made it so that the kid's grown up now. Like it
Yeah.
would have done like a time jump, and it would have been like, okay, we're introducing the new Black Panther. It's T'Challa's son, and
Mhm.
he was being hidden all this time in whatever Haiti or wherever. Although I don't know why the fuck they would go to Haiti of all places, but there's human trafficking there. But whatever. Okay, they're going to Haiti, so that's fine. He's been hidden there for his own good, whatever. They didn't want
Mhm.
anyone to find him. And then here he is. He's like, 16, 17. And then, here's the new Black Panther. Like something
Right.
happens, Namor's coming down, whatever, anything, whatever. You set up the thing, but you have the new Black Panther then, because you have him. They want to do it for the next movie. And I'm like,
Yeah.
at this point, like, really? Like, because it really was like weird, Jane, because the movie was really like, it was okay. Like it had an okay start, like when they were doing the funeral for Chadwick and
Mhm.
everything like that. That was good. Like I was like, okay, they're paying their respect. And then all of a sudden the movie takes a turn and it
Yeah.
becomes like not about anything to do with T'Challa or the Black Panther. And then they kill the mom.
Yeah.
So it's like his death is overshadowed by the mom's death, and I'm like,
there was so much repetition, including that. Like, so
yeah,
many things were repeated over and over again, so it's just like, are we really doing this again? He's making the same threats again. We have a funeral again. Like, how many times do we have to go through all of this?
yeah, and I felt like the mom's death was completely unnecessary
It
because
wouldn't have even happened. Why was she standing there?
yeah, and like, and it's like, and this is supposed to be about the Black Panther and like the fact that he died, and you want us to feel for him, you want us to remember that this was his movie, And all of a sudden, it's like it's not even about him anymore. And like, who fucking cares? Because she's dead now. Let's mourn her. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the emotional connection of that goes away. Like, you're supposed to have it be about him and the loss that we feel for Chadwick. And
well, that's the thing. I think they were trying to
T'Challa.
create vengeance in Shuri.
Mhm.
And so having him die the way he didn't do that. Like, it didn't accomplish that. As much as they tried, that wouldn't make her want to burn the world. Having her mother killed might, but you could have just had Chadwick killed. I mean, not Chadwick, but T'Challa killed.
T'Challa. Mhm.
And that could have been the more, like, you could have skipped. There was just so much unnecessary stuff in this movie. And
was
even
so
the
many.
even the US, like, Western, that whole plot, we see in the beginning of the movie that the Americans on the ship say over the radio that it's not the Wakandans.
Yeah.
They get that much out that these people
Mhm.
are blue. So
By the
why
way, that was
then
funny.
throughout the rest of the movie are they blaming Wakanda? Like, it just,
I don't know. I don't know. They had the one white guy in the movie for like 10 minutes and he was just there to be berated. Like, I was like, what the fuck is happening to this movie?
literally the only reason any of the white people are in it. They didn't need to be there either. They didn't need to be in the first one, honestly.
Oh god, that one line that Shuri was
Like-
like, "Let's go visit my favorite fucking
My
what's
favorite
it called?
colonizer.
My favorite colonizer." I was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
You know what? This is
no.
people are always like, when it's the reverse, they're like, this is diversity and inclusion for being forced. Well, that's what's happening here. Because they didn't need to be in it. None of that needed to be in it at all. Like, this,
No.
you could have just had the Talakans, whatever they're I don't know, Talokans.
I forget.
Had them kill T'Challa and you have your war between these two people. No
Mhm.
one else needed to be included unless they started killing people in the surface world by accident.
Had they talk underwater, Jane?
I think that the reason why that was a thing, if you remember with Aquaman, there
Mhm.
was a controversy over the two ways they could communicate.
Mhm.
The air bubble situation, and people
Mhm.
hated that, or just having them talk normally. And so I think for this, they just decided just to have them talk normally.
Yeah, but the weird part was that, like, at the very beginning, when like she comes, like when she's like just there and she's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, like I'm coming here now." They're all like, they're all going to like this to her and like doing like sign language and shit. And I'm like, are
Yeah.
these people just talking in sign language so like they can't talk like underwater? And then all of a sudden, like, 10 minutes later, Namor's like, I'm giving a speech underwater. And everyone's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, what? Like, you guys didn't look like you
Yeah.
were talking much like 5 minutes ago. Like,
They
what?
didn't like, yeah, you're right. In the beginning, it didn't seem like they could. And then suddenly they are literally having a normal conversation.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
was like, what? Like,
What?
how is this a thing? Like,
who's
sorry,
so enjoying
that
it?
script doctor. We're like just totally going off about Black Panther for a minute.
No worries. No worries at all. It's funny listening to y'all say it, and I don't care about being spoiled. I have no intention of seeing it. So.
I mean, I figured you didn't care that it was
No.
being spoiled, and I know script doctors already listen to spoilers from Midnight's Edge, so it's all good. But yeah, it was just so there's so many problems with it that's why I was like, we're not reviewing it, but we ended up reviewing it anyway. I might end up cutting this little conversation out, Jane, and just being like my Black Panther review with Jane.
Yay.
Like a little 10-minute fucking review.
I'm still working on my like formal one because it's just it's the first one I did was way too long. It was like 20 something minutes. I'm like, I'm not talking about this movie that much. It's not worth it.
Oh my god, there were so many stupid parts in that movie. Like, I was like,
The
why?
one ship, you take one ship to battle.
One ship, and then, dude, that one scene where that one guy. First of all, I'm sorry, but he like the monkey noises just don't help. Okay, but anyways,
Umbaku.
yes, that guy. Okay, when he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come kick your ass, bro. Like, and he comes and he's like on the ship or whatever, and he's like, his hitting people. He hit the blue dude into the water. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, he's fine. Like, he's just gonna swim
Yeah,
out.
right,
You didn't do anything. Like, what?
But even on shore when he tries to fight, like, okay, so why do you attack Namor when he is literally surrounded by his people and you know all of these people are super strong? what are you going to accomplish here besides getting killed?
Nothing.
It
There
was
was
so
so many. Oh my god, there's so many
they
fucking
made him an
problems.
idiot in this. And he had one line I feel that was reflective of a leader of a region or whatever he is. But the rest of it, he was just a joke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a joke. And
The
so
only
were the
thing I
Mexican
liked-
people. Like, I didn't like that the Mexican people ended up taking a drug that turned them blue. They were like, let's make this home brew.
Yeah, it would be like if the Wakandans all drunk the blue stuff.
What the fuck?
What? And then
There's
okay, so
so
this is the other problem I had. The other problem I had was that they are modern people. See, what I thought, and I could be wrong, I don't remember exactly, but his mother, he in the comics, Namor is half whatever these people are, right? Half Atlantean. A culture society that had been around for thousands of years. But you've changed it now. You've made him Native American. Meaning his people turned in the last few hundred years. And you're telling me that in that amount of time, they've become this massive, like super highly technological civilization?
Right. I was thinking that too. I'm like, who's their mathematician? Like, who was their scientist? Like, who, how, what?
How, when, where? They couldn't come to the surface. So they had to start from the beginning.
Yeah, and there was like only like 10 people. Like, I was like, there wasn't even that many.
It was a handful of people. It was like one family. So explain to me how this. And he said he has more people than the blades of grass in Wakanda. How, sir?
How dude? Are they like the inbreeding? It's gotta be. This
how
is why
many
they're
kids
blue.
Can you possibly have?
This is so many.
And no one
problems.
noticed all of these people breathing under the water.
I'm like, dude, there's been like how many Avengers movies and shit, and like no one knew about what's going on underwater.
one
Like,
noticed.
not at all. Until this one girl in college makes a fucking. By the way, she was such a bitch too. Like, she was like, "Oh my god, like I'm the best at everything. I started building things when I was 3 years old." I was like, 3 years old? Like, holy fuck. And then she's
But
like,
this is the thing too. It's her dad gave her threw some tools at her. She wasn't. It wasn't like he taught her how to do. They couldn't have him teach her how to do things.
No.
He just gave her some tools to play with, and she built something. Like, what? You will just write fathers out of everything.
Just like exactly, like especially this
tools?
movie that's supposed to be about a fucking father and son. Like, you know,
Even if she's a prodigy, like you would still have parents nurture the child, right, and help them to develop. You don't just you're a car mechanic and just throw some tools at your 3-year-old.
just go do it yourself. Oh my god! And then she was like evil too. She wasn't even good because she like killed everyone on that bridge. Like, she's like, "I got you,
We
girl."
were chasing them.
Yeah, but they were, dude. She bombed the police. She was like, "I'm bombing you from like the fucking stratosphere," and they're just police officers. Like, heroes don't act like that. You're not supposed to bomb the fucking police. I don't remember no Avengers killing the police.
People. They just sort of snatched her out of the air with no problem, which is another issue. You mean to tell me that the American military don't have a response to Iron Man suits?
No.
Nothing? You haven't?
Apparently not. Although they should, because I mean,
you would think.
You would. I mean, remember, like, what was it? Iron Man 3, wasn't it? Like the whole problem.
Well, they did lose Tony Stark from making weapons for the military, so I guess they have to find someone else that could meet with him.
I just feel like at some point they would have seen even Tony as a potential threat, in a separate part of the military Black Ops team or whatever. They would be working on something in case he turned evil.
Yeah, like kind of like in Iron Man 3 or like in fucking Ultron, like when Ultron went all fucking nuts. Like, I mean, come on now.
You gotta prepare for that sort of thing.
Like,
but no, it's you see
Thank
how did
you.
they
I
not
was
know?
wondering this too. I'm like, where the fuck is War Machine the whole
Right?
time? I'm like, where the fuck is he? Like I mean, you would think that if you see a flying fucking suit, that War Machine would show up and be like, who the fuck is this broad?
Right.
I don't know.
And then she had this huge garage. What?
Where did she get that? Was that her parents' that they like gave to her? Because it didn't explain.
It didn't make any sense how she would have it, why she would have it, how no one discovered it, how she was paying for all of this, because I mean, she essentially made what she had from scratch, right?
Well, it did explain how she was paying for it, or at least some of it, because she was like a hustler in school, and she was like selling like tests and
Scores and stuff,
scores and
or
shit like
whatever,
that. So she
homework.
was paying her way through college
But
by
that's stupid. If you're
being a
this
cheater.
brilliant, you have not only scholarships, but you have stipends. So you're not hurting for money.
But she's Jane. She's a black girl in racist America going to school. She ain't gonna have no fucking what's it called?
Scholarship?
Yeah, scholarship. She's black and she's a minority. No.
That's so crazy.
They're not gonna give her a scholarship.
And then the other thing too was she thought she was being recruited, which would have made more sense than them kidnapping her for this ridiculous plot line they came up with. How they could have gotten her there would have been through recruitment, and then she could have decided to side with Wakanda against this common threat.
Yes, that would have made way more sense that let's go and recruit her, and she's smart, and well, she's black. I mean, come on now. We can just recruit her.
Yeah, and they did. I mean, we saw in the last, it would have been set up because we saw in the last one when they decided to open their gates or whatever, they started setting up these community centers everywhere, right? And so if they're smart, they're going to use them as a recruitment tool. Like they're going to try to identify the brightest minds in these various communities to get them.
Right.
Who wouldn't?
Right. Because that's kind of, that's what probably T'Challa would have wanted.
Yeah.
I don't know, but from seeing the first movie or whatever, I would assume that that's kind of what he would lean towards, because that's what he was into. But
I forgot to comment on that. Boosh said they went from Stone Age to Google in 200 years. Name more civilization.
They did, and it was crazy. I was like, how the fuck? I was thinking that too. And then the other thing too that I was thinking about, because a lot of people were talking about how Wakanda doesn't have any ships or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it's so easy because they have flying machines. I have spaceships.
Yeah.
It would be so easy to make those flying spaceships into submarines, and just
I would think that they would have ships just because they do have rivers. So I mean, I suppose they could just prepare, for the unexpected. You would have a naval base because Mali actually had a navy back in the 1300s or whatever. They had ships, even though they're a landlocked country. So that could have been inspiration.
Shipping is a very useful way to transport resources. Even if you are landlocked, you'd have to negotiate with other neighboring villages, towns, countries, what have you, to get access to the water so you can go and trade with other people.
Yeah. So that kind of makes sense. But I don't know why they would just have one though.
So wait, in Wakanda Forever they have one ship and they use that to attack the Namor and his people?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why would they use a boat? They can climb on a boat. Be in an airship or something. They're just bombing with depth charges.
Dude, it was so dumb.
You said they can climb in a boat, and that's exactly what they did.
They literally did that.
Oh,
they literally climbed on the boat, and it was so fucking dumb because that like I said, they literally they would hit the boat, the blue people into the ocean, and I'm like, they're not dead. They're fine.
That's putting just gonna swim. In water, literally. That's literally throwing a fish back into the water.
Literally, that's what they were doing. I was like, what? And then, dude, can you explain to me how Shuri survived that last fucking stab wound?
She wouldn't have. She would be dead.
Her mom died of drowning from a fucking window, spraying her in the face with water. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Right? She got stabbed with one of those crazy vibranium
It's a
spears.
vibranium spear.
Like,
She
unless
got
you're telling me that
stabbed in the chest.
Well, unless you're telling me the serum made her like Superman-esque strong or something, or like, you know, Wolverine-esque strong. Like, I don't
think you can stop a spear through the chest. I was thinking does the suit heal you?
Oh, she didn't
Like it
explain that
cauterized a
though.
wound?
Yeah.
She did say the new suit was powerful, but they didn't
Nanotech?
explain that.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I just don't feel like I don't feel like she would have survived that.
I didn't think she was gonna survive that either. I was like, wait, are they gonna kill Shuri too? This is kind of getting crazy.
And then he survives
she's
being
fine.
exploded in a ball of fire. Like, what is wrong with these? And yet they come back and they're both perfectly fine.
Yeah, they were fine. Not a scratch.
Not a scratch.
So
Not
it was
a
like
scratch.
a real, like a comedy cartoon as opposed to like a cartoon. It was a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Is Daffy Duck's bill is blown off, but he can just pick it up and put it back on. And he's good as new.
It literally was like that. I'm not even joking. And then like the parts too that was like, oh my god, they're like, you know, they're jumping off the boat because they're like hypnotized.
Oh,
they
the
were
siren
jumping into
song.
water.
I
Like they're
like
fine.
I like that
Hypnot-
part though.
what?
I
They're
like the
hypnotized?
siren.
I like the
used to
sirens
hold
too, but I'm
in.
saying they were fine. Like they were jumping into water. Nothing was unless they don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
In which case they're saying black people don't know how to swim, and that's racist in itself.
Well, they did it to
but
the white
still.
people too in the beginning.
They did actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So I think,
But-
and I think when they pulled them all the way to the bottom. So I think they all drowned.
Oh, okay. So they pulled them to the bottom. I thought they were just like jumping, and they're like, eh. You
It
know,
was mind control or something.
yeah, it was definitely. Wait, comic chat. What's going on? Says it was a vibranium spear. It was a wooden go back and look.
It was
The
wooden.
It was. The
Would a
serum
wooden
has
spear
healing
puncture
properties.
vibranium Black Panther armor.
Yeah, like how would wood puncture her armor though?
Yeah, and I thought it was vibranium. I thought it was the vibranium spear, not a wood. That makes it even worse because how is the wooden spear like going through the fucking Black Panther suit?
Yeah, because he's supposed to be wearing, or at least in Civil War and Black Panther, his suit is made of vibranium. Like that's
the whole
thing. Like,
point.
and the whole end climax is the Sonic is causing their suit to destabilize on their bodies when they're fighting each other in that cave, right? So she was punctured with a wooden spear. Like what is
It
this?
couldn't have
Green
been
Lantern,
wooden. I
Alan
don't think
Scott
it was
Green Lantern?
wooden.
I don't
Because
think
where would
it
a
was
wooden
wooden.
spear come from? She doesn't have one, and he doesn't have one.
I don't think
Lots
it
of
was
wood grows
wooden.
on the bottom of the ocean, Atlantic Ocean. I hear.
Yeah,
Lot
but
of
his
trees.
spear, they mentioned his spear being pure vibranium.
Mhm.
Oh,
And any spear from her people, they're vibranium. So I don't think there
Vibranium,
was a wooden spear anywhere.
No. And also, like, I mean, I thought about the serum as well, comic chat, but they didn't explain it. They weren't like, oh, like, here, like, you know, this is what's gonna, or show it or anything like that. It's like she was fine 2 seconds later. It was like she had like healing powers, and I was like, is this new? Like, I don't get
the
it.
Wakanda serum is the Wolverine.
Yeah,
blood.
like that's what I thought. I was like, is this like giving her like Wolverine powers? Because this is like actually kind of crazy how fast she healed. Like, because it was like 2 seconds later, she's like doing a fucking backflip on top of him. I was like, what the hell? Like, didn't she just get stabbed? But whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if she is. She's got, I don't know. She's got stuff going on. But anyway, that was our brief review of Black Panther. Wakanda forever. Don't waste your fucking time or money. That's my suggestion.
I'll wait for streaming when I get it for free.
Right. Somebody sent me it. That's how I watched it. But yeah, I didn't spend any money on this. Come on now. I'm not spending money on new Marvel anymore.
I've seen it
decided.
like 3 times.
Oh my.
What? Black Panther 2?
Yeah.
What?
You sat through that movie 3 times?
I saw it the first time. for the review, for my actual review.
Uh-huh.
And then I watched it again on the high seas just to make sure I understood what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then my family wanted to go see it, so I went with them yesterday.
seen
You
it
lost
3
9
times.
hours to this movie?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. You have
Wow.
just gained your crown.
yeah.
That's insane.
We've literally been watching Wakanda forever.
Yeah. By the way, that fucking movie, okay, jokes aside, well, not really though. That movie was way too fucking long. I was
A
so
good hour
bored.
could have been literally. They could have just. I didn't need the repetition about his loss. Like I feel like we got that.
Yeah,
In fact, just the opening sequence they did was very nice,
that was great.
and that could have been the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Now move on to the movie.
Yep.
There weren't any Avengers.
And then
that
don't
T'Challa's
kill the
team, or
mom.
were there?
Yeah, like but where was Buck? That's my other beef
I was thinking that
with
too,
this
Jane.
movie. Bucky would have been there if no one else was there.
I was thinking that too. And I was thinking, oh, I know where he is. Being fucking wokeified and freaking woke soldier. Like, you know, he's the woke soldier now. I mean, he should have been there, but he wasn't. I
He really should have.
I thought he was gonna be with Lupita. Like I thought he was gonna show up as a cameo, like, and he's in Haiti, like protecting her or something like that. And I was like, he's not even there. Like that sucks. Like they
Well,
didn't even
and
do a
that would have
cameo.
made sense. Like one of the things I mentioned in my live stream was that when Shuri gets kidnapped, you have your classic Disney moment. You have your
Mhm.
princess who's been kidnapped, and we need the White Knight to come and save her.
Mhm.
That could have been Bucky.
Yes. he
Yeah,
could be
they
my
didn't
white
give a
knight any
shit.
day.
You know what? That's actually another great way that they could have done it. That they could have introduced the new T'Challa and the new like Black Panther. They could have
Bucky's
made
the
it
White
so that
Panther.
she gets kidnapped. Like she and T'Challa get kidnapped, and this dude comes and rescues them. And like obviously he brings Shuri and like, you know, the crew.
Yeah.
And they're like they go and rescue her, and then it's like, oh, we're rescuing T'Challa and the fucking Black Panther as well. Like, you know, and then like, and then, you know, I don't know, you have somebody die, and then Black Panther's like, I need to rise again. So he like takes up his father's suit, and then, you know, you have that whole moment of him being there. Oh my God, it would have been so much better.
The one last thing they did that really ticked me off, and you probably already know where I'm going with this. They made Ayo gay. This is the girl who I was shipping hard with Bucky in
Wait,
Falcon.
she's gay now?
Yeah.
Wait, what? I didn't catch that. Who's
It
she
was
lesbo
a
with?
very subtle in one of the, as at the latter end of the movie, where her girlfriend or wife or whatever comes over and kisses her.
Oh my God, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, I caught it.
Well, you've seen this movie 3 fucking times, so I mean, I would imagine you've caught stuff that I haven't fucking seen. But damn,
Yeah, they
she's
went and did it.
Oh no,
It's like, really? After all that chemistry that you established in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, this is what you do.
why are you gay? I need that clip. Why are you gay? Like she really shouldn't be gay. You're right. Like that's, oh my God. There's so many problems with this movie.
The more you watch it, the worse it gets.
Oh, geez.
I bet. I'm never planning on watching it again. Are you crazy? Like holy shit, you would have to pay me to watch that movie. Okay. Thank you everybody for being here for our review of Hellbound and Black Panther 2. Oh, it was a fantastic time. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panel. Teresa, lovely Teresa. Tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube at Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about lots of things. But this week it's going to be the World Cup this coming Thursday, the World Cup for the rest of us, and I'm bringing on a Brazilian. So it's going to be some fun talk. And we're going to continue with the Elfstones of Shannara next Saturday.
I heard that Iran is playing Mexico, and I'm torn. I'm like, fuck. Like, I hate when that happens.
Well, there's Christmas trees in Mexico without any discrimination, so
That's true. I'm
Oh,
going
there
for
you-
Mexico. Script Doctor, my Canadian brother. Tell everyone where they can find you.
you can find me on Twitter at ScriptDoctorPhD. I do have a YouTube channel. It's temporarily on hiatus at the moment because I don't think my computer's able to stream after the recent crash I've had. Like I can join one. I don't know if I can host one yet. But that might change after Black Friday because I'm gonna look at the sales for some new stuff.
By
But
the
in
way,
meantime,
what's it called? I lurked a little bit.
oh Diablo, yeah,
Yes, I was like, I want to play Diablo.
it's such a good game.
I love that game. But yes, so definitely check out Script Doctor. All the links are in the description. And last but certainly not least, my very favorite person on the internet, at least for right now, at least for today, Jane Theory. Everyone really can find you.
Digging that hole.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm here on YouTube. I post movie, TV reviews, and occasionally some pop culture commentary. You can also find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. Now, I have like, I don't know what you call it.
Hiatus.
I'm taking a hiatus from Instagram and TikTok at the moment, just because I spend way too much time on there. But you can find me here, and Twitter, and Rumble, and Locals, and everywhere else at Jane Theory.
Yay, Jane. And the links are in the description except for her Rumble, which I will add later. And also I remembered because I tried to tag you on Instagram today and I was like, oh yeah, she's taking a hiatus. So that's right. But still follow Jane everywhere. She's amazing. And love having her on. Love having all you guys around on Sundays. It's so much fun to talk to you guys about shows. I can't wait to talk about the other one. Wait, when's the date again? November 17th. It's coming out, right? So wait, that would be. Holy shit! We can review it next Sunday.
Oh yeah,
So are we down?
I'm down.
Are we down for next
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
you guys? Let's do it. All right. So next week, people in the chat, prepare yourselves to watch. What was it called again? 1899.
Yes.
1899 on Netflix. It's
That's
by
gonna
the
be good.
creators of Dark. It's going to be good. At least I hope so. And yeah, that's what we're going to be reviewing next Sunday. Sunday. Meet us here for our review of 1899. Or
I am not gay. I have relationships with women, sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
Why is that so funny?
What the
B
hell?
or B square.
Somebody actually wrote that, and then those two performed it with a straight face.
I know. I've seen the serious one. It's not as funny. It's the music that does it. It's the music. It's all the music. I love you guys. Have a great week. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
The young